Now, we've got a fascinating fight. I mean, this is a great fight to be kicking off the main card, guys. We got Arnold Almighty Allen taking on Movsar Evloev, and this is a fascinating fight at 145 pounds, right? Arnold Allen, he was on the precipice of doing something really special. Only a handful of guys have rattled off 10 straight wins in the featherweight division. It is not something that is easy to do. And we saw Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski do that. And the only other guy who was right on the precipice of doing it was this guy, Arnold Allen. But he was denied by the man himself. Max Holloway was able to stop his momentum in its tracks. And now he's looking for a bounce back against one of the toughest fights in the division, right? Movsar Evloev, undefeated fighter. I talked about it, right? There's some undefeated trends on this card. All my homies that rock with me on Twitter, they didn't quite hit the number yet on Twitter for the goal, so I haven't shared all the trends. But for all the homies that rock with us on YouTube, I'm of course going to give those out for you guys. And what we've got is Evloev as a favorite, 7-0, 34% ROI. What does that tell you? It tells you two things. He's been pretty darn consistent in that role as a favorite, but he's also been significant chalk almost every time out, because that 34% ROI, it's not a huge ROI for a favorite, especially for all those iterations. It means that he's been big chalk. And when you look, he was huge chalk against the likes of Diego Lopes. I actually faded Movsar Evloev against Diego Lopes in that spot. And I think after the fact, most people won't blame me, right? You saw Lopes went out there. He pushed the action for the whole 15 minutes. He made him work. And when you're fighting a guy like Lopes on short notice, it's hard to prepare for all those crazy sequences he does with the triangle chokes, with the armbar series. And we saw Evloev now in many fights, right? The Nick Lenz fight, the Diego Lopes fight, he's been put in danger, but he's always found a way to work himself back out. He's always found a way to stay calm through adversity. So I think that's a real feather in the cap of Movsar Evloev. I think he is very good at what he does defensively. And I think offensively, he's a good round winner. He's a good control style grappler. A lot of the time, he could take people down, ride out top position, and normally negate a lot of the offense coming back at him. But you got to remember that Arnold Allen is a guy that keeps that pace into the third round, right? We've seen at times he was able to outlast Mads Burnell in a pretty grappling heavy fight, was able to get the submission late there. And what has become the meta in MMA, I talk about this on a week-to-week basis, but that ninja choke has become a lot more prevalent. And you saw Arnold Allen pull off a ninja choke, if my memory serves, in that fight against Mads Burnell. So when you look at Arnold Allen's game over time, he's become a lot more reliant on his power punching. He's become a lot more reliant on his ability to go out there and dictate with the hands. But we've seen at times in the past, he can mix in his kicks. He can mix in the grappling as well. I don't think he's a fish out of water on the ground, but I do think that Movsar Evloev has proven to be a little bit better process oriented, a little bit better round winner, and a little bit more tactically dangerous, over the course of this short 15-minute fight. I think Arnold Allen's going to have to find ways to sting, hurt, knock back Evloev, because when you look, there's been other guys that really challenged Arnold Allen. I remember right before the fight, I tweeted it out. I changed my opinion of the Sadiq Youssef and Arnold Allen fight because I just had this gut feeling that Arnold Allen was going to be able to buzz the chin of Sadiq. But we haven't seen a lot of those same chin concerns, in my opinion, from Evloev. If anything, it's been more of those grappling situations where we've seen him in a lot more danger, especially in the recent fights. So I'm going to let the tape be my guide in this fight. I'm definitely going to do some more research on this fight, but I can't ignore the fact that Movsar Evloev has been undefeated in the trend as a favorite. As for Arnold Allen, though, he's actually been the more productive guy in terms of ROI as an underdog. So Arnold Allen, if you bet him every time out as a dog, he's 3-1 for a 79.8% ROI. So he's done very well as a UFC underdog. And you also look at the fact that Arnold Allen, let's look at how many UFC fights he's had, right? So Arnold Allen is currently 10-1 in the promotion. And we just said he's 3-1 as an underdog, right? So that means only 4 times out of 11 fights, he's been an underdog. Most of the time, they're favoring Arnold Allen to go out there and get the job done. Movsar Evloev, every time out, he's been favored to get the job done, right? So these are two guys that normally you're looking at paying a favorite price tag on these guys for sure. Pretty significant favorite price tag. So you could make an argument for taking either one of these guys, right? On the one hand, you could say, man, Arnold Allen, great fighter. Surprising to see him at an underdog tag. Gonna have to take this. But you could also look and say, man, Arnold Allen in the past, hasn't always performed as an underdog. Most recent time out, did drop the ball as an underdog against Max Holloway. Meanwhile, this guy Evloev, he's never let me down, right? 7 times up, 7 times out, and he's got it. So I think that Movsar Evloev at this cheaper price is also a potential play for a lot of people, a lot of sharp people as well. So we're going to kick it over to best fight odds right now and take a look at the screen, see what exactly the odds are looking like. So the odds seem to be moving on this fight, right? You were looking a couple days ago at a minus 175, minus 165, that kind of price on a Movsar Evloev. Now we're looking at a minus 210 or so on Movsar Evloev on Caesars, minus 200 on MGM, minus 192 on DraftKings. So number is moving towards Evloev right now, and I tend to agree with that number. I do think that Arnold Allen, good fighter, solid guy. I don't think this line should completely run away to minus 500 or something insane like that, but I do understand why, Movsar's taking the action here. And I think that Arnold Allen has the Canadian connection, right? But he is a guy that is from the UK and trains in Canada, but maybe not the native son in the same way. So I think that this is a spot where, we're going to see two elite featherweight talents. And I just think Movsar might have the better game for winning fights at a high level. So for me, give me Movsar in this one, but not with a great degree of confidence. I do think it's a very fun and competitive fight. And I need to do a little bit more tape study before I say with conviction that it's going to be Movsar, because I really like Arnold Allen. I thought he was going to go out there and compete with Max Holloway, keep it honest. And I think 48-47 on one of the judges' scorecards indicates he was able to do that, but he just did not have what it takes to push over that edge and get the win there. And Movsar Evloev, he wants to earn that spot. He wants to earn that opportunity. Now you go, from Arnold Allen being in a 5-round main event to being back opening the main card. It's kind of a step back for your career, and that could be something that takes away from your motivation potentially. So for me, I like Movsar Evloev with the momentum moving in the right direction. Give me Movsar to get the job done here via unanimous decision.